This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Our top story, Grand Bahama extending its reach to the European market today. A special group of visitors touched down on the island from Italy, and it's a visitor that the tourism officials believe will bear fruit. Let me tell you, Cleopatra Murphy was there.
A large contingent of 150 travel agents and journalists arrived on Grand Bahama Thursday, the second group to come since Alpatour World resumed flights from Italy on the island this summer. The group, who are also on island to sell Grand Bahama to the European market, are staying at Viva Wyndham Fortuna Beach, and General Manager Claudio Nutella says they will be exposed to the best in Bahamian culture.
They are here to revise and to enjoy, of course, Grand Bahamas, all the beautiful natural things that we can offer to them. Of course, downtown, Freeport, fish fries, the National Park, and the activities that we will propose to the hotel.
The Ministry of Tourism is also playing a role. Regional Manager for Italy, Michelangelo Vesmara, says the group consists of 10 journalists from the biggest Italian papers and 20 travel agents who will give Grand Bahama positive exposure.
We want to achieve the coverage on the destination and the kind of enjoyment that they can have during the stay at the village here. We have had a great collaboration from the staff at the village, of course, but mainly people from Grand Bahama that are always welcome, and the Ministry of Tourism, the colleague, have been working hard to have this charter coming back to Grand Bahama.
Vesmara says Alpatour is the largest tour operator in Italy. She says with this farm trip, officials are hoping to also extend the season of the flight that arrives from Italy from June to September and possibly get an earlier start next year.
May, plenty of people get married, so that is a good target that we are trying to attract to the Bahamas. And the other target are families.
The tourism official says they believe Grand Bahama is a good destination for families, so they plan to sell it during the group's 7-day stay. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, organizers of the In Deep Love Bahamas wedding campaign are hoping to get Grand Bahama in the Guinness World Book of Records for the most undersea weddings performed at the same time. Well, the current record, folks, is around 34, and come Valentine's Day next year, 50 couples will be married in the waters off Grand Lucayan.
We will create an annual event in the Bahamas that exposes the diving capabilities and immense beauty of diving while here in the Bahamas. We will create an all-inclusive dive wedding event that includes a number of activities to capture the essence of a Bahamian tourist experience while broadly appealing to dive enthusiasts and couples and novices from around the world.
We actually have set up a system in which divers and friends, many friends we hope, will come in and want to actually experience diving or learn diving. We will start 2-3 weeks prior of the event of preparing the couples and the friends and everybody to be ready.
Well, the Bahamas won the world's leading wedding destination award in 2015, and so this campaign is expected to deliver huge dividends for this destination.
What we're really hoping that this will do, and you've heard the expression so many times, heads in beds, and I think this property in particular is well positioned for that, and with UNESCO as an important partner, they will definitely do their part. So
Grand Bahama definitely needs this business at this time in February. We're hoping that these couples come with many friends and relatives, and that our numbers mushroom here at Grand Lucayan as a result.
Well, in other news, June 7th referendum was the third failed referendum to be actually conducted in the Bahamas in recent time. Based on this record, many are questioning if the country should ever consider holding such a poll again. Well, tonight, the Member of Parliament for Marcos City addressed the concern as whether constitutional reform should be abandoned. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
United Democratic Party leader and Member of Parliament for Marcos City, Greg Moss, says government should not abandon the idea of constitutional reform, despite 3 failed referenda in 14 years under separate administrations. Instead, he says constitutional reform must be in the areas that Bahamians desire.
If you came to the Bahamas and said you want a constitutional reform to have a term limit on the Prime Minister, to 2 terms and no more, everyone will vote for that. If you came to say we want constitutional reform on how the information on the government is kept and the people's access to that information, everyone will vote for that.
In 2002, the Free National Movement presented 5 questions for a public vote, one addressing the removal of gender discrimination from the Constitution. In 2013, the Progressive Liberal Party presented the gaming referendum, and last week the gender equality referendum, all of which failed. Moss says if there is a constitutional reform on the issuance of government contracts, education, and health care, a referendum would succeed.
The people understand the need for those things for the betterment of our country. What is happening is you have some very small personal interest groups within the country, within the political body of our country, who are deciding what they want.
Moss says constitutional reform is a good idea, but must focus on areas that will readily impact Bahamians, adding that he has been pushing for mortgage reform and a rollback on value-added tax and an alternative tax.
Education is a right. Free education in College of the Bahamas and BTVI must be a right. Meaningful free education in the public schools, meaning not just social promotion in the public school, but education where people are actually learning. People like me, who were born poor but went through the public school and had access to the same levels of resources as everyone else. That has to happen.
Following last week's failed referendum, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie commented that constitutional reform must continue, but when and in what form remained up in the air. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, the high rate of traffic accidents on the streets of Grand Bahama is reason for concern among many road users. You see, one Grand Bahama resident has taken this concern to another level and has established a driving school to ensure that young drivers receive proper training and the rules of the road. Let's go to Megan Shepard for that story.
A new driving school opening on Grand Bahama in the Circle Mall. Owner and operator of El Shaddai's Learn to Drive, Allison Knowles, says it is critical to educate the motoring public on the rules of the road, as well as the dangers and responsibilities that come along with driving.
We really need to be educated to drive on our streets. Too many accidents are happening, and I don't just teach driving. I'm a defensive driving teacher, instructor. So I actually teach persons to be defensive out there, especially for those road users who aren't safeguarding themselves, because we have a lot of young reckless drivers out there. They're just driving, but they don't really understand the danger of the road. I call it the iron city out there, and they don't really know proper road procedures.
Knowles has been an instructor for some 25 years now and decided to open a brick-and-mortar location.
This is actually the first driving school open up in Grand Bahama. We have a lot of driving instructors out there, but not really an office, but a facility as such where persons can come in and make their appointments. I am also teaching driver's ed in the school, and that's also another historical event. This is the first time that it's actually in the school's curriculum. So St. George's has it in their curriculum, and Jack Haywood now is taking it on in September. And then later down the line, we're looking forward to having the other schools partake in placing it in their curriculum as well.
Knowles notes that speeding is a major factor in the majority of accidents that occurs on the streets. She says at El Shaddai's, students are taught all of the rules of the road so that they are prepared for both their theory and practical examinations.
We're just looking forward for persons to coming in, making appointments, finding about the highway code book, and not finding out about it, read it, because I also teach that book as well. So persons who don't really understand it, because they have it on the website now, and road traffic aren't selling the books anymore. So I took an initiative to make these books available for them for their use, because I know how important it is for them to understand proper road procedures, especially the speed limits. You get anywhere in Freeport in less than 45 minutes. You don't have to speed.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. And there's more news ahead when we come back.